Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. Is it halfway through the season at this point? I think we're halfway through the season. We're at least through by Mageddon, is what Scott Hansen so I guess cleverly called it on Red Zone this week. His jokes fell very flat on Sunday, and it was disappointing. If you survived this week with some wins, congratulations. If you got screwed over because someone that your opponent picked up that you've never heard of dropped 20 points on you, congratulations to those that lost to Brandon Bolden. You know, it happens to the best of us. Some also big injuries that even added on to more of the drama in Week 7. But now only 2 teams on a bye this week, and it's going to be an interesting Week 8 ahead. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. Joining me, as always, Joshua Hudson and Ryan Weisse. Gentlemen, how was Week 7 for thou?
Definitely could have been better.
Okay. I'd say it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be honest. So
I was a top 3 scorer in our Dynasty League and still lost, so perfect. I am happy about that.
Exactly. That's precisely what you're looking for.
Precisely what we're looking for.
That is productive struggle to a T right there.
It's unbelievable because I started Randall Cobb and Deshaun Jackson and still managed the third most points thanks to Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, Kyler Murray, and Kendrick Bourne's electric passing touchdown.
Jamar Chase, man.
Jamar
Chase.
The
hell? My favorite tweet. Well, my favorite tweet, not kissing up to the boss. Joe Bryant said, "Imagine what Jamar Chase could do if there were white stripes on the ball."
I was about to say, God, I hate that he doesn't catch enough of those balls that are being thrown to him.
Yeah.
I think someone put a video out of every route that he ran. He was open on every play.
He's incredible.
Open on every single play. But can we also talk about the fact that T. Higgins, I think, had 15 targets on top of what Jamar Chase did?
Oof.
Like, that team is gross.
And rest in peace to Tyler Boyd, man.
Yeah, my it was either last week's show or on Starts at Different Day. I had said, not this year, but next year the Bengals will be in the AFC Championship.
And now you might be right. I said
early,
yeah. Well, that's funny. I said I remember like freaking out like you were making a bold prediction, and now all of a sudden that doesn't feel bold for 2021 at all.
So. No.
Yeah, definitely was wrong about them. I thought they'd come out a little flat, just, seizing the moment. Maybe it's reverse. Maybe the pressure gets on them towards the end of the season when they try to close them out versus earlier in the season. Who knows?
I don't know. The rest of that division,
really good.
The rest of that division is sketch. So.
Yeah. I mean, with Baker hurt, and even the way Baker's played when healthy hasn't been great. But I mean, the Browns have a ton of talent.
So to be fair, we haven't really seen Baker healthy because that original injury happened in week 2. So,
yep. All right. Let's dive into some Thursday news. Oh, news about Thursday. Yeah, it was very confusing how the person who typed this up worded it, Josh.
Shut up.
Thursday news.
If you'd read a show sheet before we go on air, you'd be okay.
I literally saw you typing this 20 minutes ago. Shut up. I saw you typing this 20 minutes ago. Devonte Adams, who is vaccinated, has been placed on the COVID list. He needs 2 negative tests within 24 hours of each other to come off of the list. He didn't travel, so unless he makes a surprise appearance tomorrow midday, he's out. The Lizard, Alan Lazard, who's unvaccinated, he's also on the COVID list as a close contact, out for a minimum of 5 days, so obviously out Thursday. Yep. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is still on IR, so...
eligible to come off, though. So.
He's eligible to come off.
Yep.
They haven't taken him off yet.
Randall Cobb season, baby.
So it's Randall Cobb season. Equanimous St. Brown.
And Amari Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Yeah, rookie third-round pick.
I have already taken the Cardinals -6 in that game.
Yeah.
So I have already bet the Cardinals.
If I already am down on Rodgers, if Marquez Valdez-Scantling doesn't come back, this could be a very bad game for Aaron Rodgers. So.
Yeah.
They showed some of his stats against Arizona, and he's been absolutely lights out against them.
Yeah,
so I'm really curious to see. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this takes place.
You mean the electric 60-yard Hail Mary to Jeff Janis in the divisional round of the playoffs?
They better see what he's doing right now. They need him.
Yeah. I was going to say call him up.
Call Buffalo, get Jay Kumaro back.
only then to be ruined by a throw completely across his body, Carson Palmer to Larry Fitzgerald to bring it down to the 3-yard line, and then a shovel pass to the legend himself to finish the game out. But Lazard, Adams out, MVS potentially out. Their wide receiver one could be Randall Cobb going into tomorrow. J.J. Watt also ruled out, but he's with a shoulder injury. Chandler Jones is back, though, and will play for the Arizona Cardinals, so that's big for them. Weekend news. Miles Sanders exited with an ankle injury. He got carted off, correct? Like, it wasn't like a walk-off-the-field ankle injury, so he is, unless it was just that bad in the moment and it magically healed, odds are he does not play this week.
Yeah, they're saying that it's kind of a week-to-week thing, but it's ankle injuries.
They called it a mid-ankle sprain, not even a high, and they said it just looked
awful.
So much worse than what it was. So.
Well, I mean, at that point, you'd rather him just broken his ankle, because an ankle sprain for a running back is terrible, because especially in fantasy, because they could be active and then take 5
which
carries.
we saw with Kadarius Toney.
Yeah,
he was out within like 2 plays.
Yeah, within 2 plays, but it's like, again, with a sprain, it can just linger there forever.
Yep.
Whereas if he just broke it, you knew, okay, he's out 4 to 6 weeks and he'll be back and he'll be fine. Yeah. So that it kind of sucks for him. Obviously, if he sprains it in the offseason, is what it is, just stay off it. But in season, it's kind of tough. Josh Jacobs, same game, exited with a chest injury, but Raiders are on a bye this week, so it doesn't matter. You weren't going to start him anyway. Darren Waller, late scratch against the Eagles with an ankle injury. He's on a bye in week 8. Shout out Foster Moreau.
So real quick, I just want to point out, we did have a question come in on our Twitter account about Waller, like kind of pivoting. And he said that Cole Kmet was out there. And I literally pointed out, I'm like, look, Kmet's a solid pivot. He ended up with like 9 points. But I was like, honestly, roll with Foster Moreau. Yeah. This team planned to incorporate the tight end early and often. This was a late scratch. They're not changing the game plan. Yeah, Foster Moreau is going to be heavily involved. 18 points.
Yep. Yeah, and he's not the athlete that Darren Waller is, but he has the hands. He very clearly has the hands.
His rookie year, he had like 4 or 5 red zone touchdowns. Like,
it was elixirs, and he went with your advice.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was funny. My brother and my dad both FaceTimed me simultaneously, one from upstairs, one from downstairs, asking me, "Hey, Darren Waller's out," and I was like, and it was. I'm just like, roll with whoever you have.
2 FaceTimes out Foster Moreau.
That's one of the few instances where I'm okay plugging in the backup and saying,
Moreau's
all right,
good.
We're good.
Yeah, if it's late like that, Josh, you hit it perfectly on the head. Is they're not changing their game plan. They went into that game planning to throw to Darren Waller. Now they just have to throw to someone else.
Yeah, and I
kick Chris Molina out of the chat.
Our resident dad joke master. That's fantastic. Hang on, we got to put this one on the screen.
We want Moreau's out advice. That's good. I will say, I told them to just they already had tight ends on their bench, so I just told them just plug in the tight end you have, because they play at the early slot, and if Waller's out in the late slot, you're screwed. And they announced it.
That certified cost people fantasy matchups because they left. I saw a guy left CJ Uzomah on the bench to gamble on Moreau. So
healthy players and 2 points are better than unhealthy players and no points. So always. Tyrod Taylor activated off IR, so he can technically play on Sunday. Jonnu Smith left with a shoulder injury. No real news on anything with him. Zach Wilson, knee injury. It's the PCL, which is one you rarely ever hear of. It's only a 2 to 4 week injury, not super huge. And a corresponding move, the Jets trade for former Super Bowl MVP,
the
elite Joe Flacco, for a conditional 6th round pick. Can you imagine you let go of Joe Flacco and then you have to trade back for him for a 6th round pick? Yeah. How Jets is that?
Exactly.
That's the Howie Roastman special right there.
Malcolm Brown left with a quad injury, and he's on IR. For those of you that didn't know, Malcolm Brown plays for the Dolphins, because I just found this out as reading it. If he hasn't played I think he's played like 2 downs this year. And then a trade.
More than that.
It's a trade.
A trade.
Yeah, trade.
Literally happened right before the show.
I was going to say, I'm like, when did this happen? Because I didn't hear about it. Mark Ingram, now back in New Orleans.
Awesome.
Cool? I don't really know.
Well, I mean, they've had to give every carry to Alvin Kamara for the last 2 weeks because of Tony Jones being on IR. They just need somebody to do something. So
I thought Taysom Hill was running back.
He's out too. He missed yesterday or Monday or whatever it was.
Tough. Didn't know that. All right. Well, I don't pay attention. I didn't watch it down on the Monday Night Football game.
Nope. Nobody's going to fault you for not paying attention to friggin' Taysom Hill.
Yeah. I don't care.
That Monday game was so bad to watch. Oh my God.
I saw a DK Metcalf at an 84-yard touchdown in the first 3 minutes, and then the score ended 13-10. I was like, oh, interesting. What?
Well, it's funny. It's an awful game. Alvin Kamara went bananas. Another one of those that I went in with 3 leads on Monday night and lost because of Alvin Kamara.
And he only scored 1 touchdown too, right?
Yeah. 10 catches, 112 yards, I think, and a touchdown. It was a ridiculous game. But what's crazy, it's insane to me how many leagues I'm in where I end up playing the same friggin' guys every week. So it's one guy who just gets to destroy me every week. And this week it was Alvin Kamara.
Play in less fantasy leagues, I think, would be my advice.
I'm starting to lean that way.
Yeah.
Or just do better.
Leagues. Do better also.
Do better, Ryan. Do better.
Also a fantastic thing. Okay. Here we go into the 3-ups here. Josh, you got the Bengals saying that they are for real. We were talking in pregame how I had said something about the Bengals making the AFC Championship next season, and then Ryan said they very well might be able to do it this season. So, shout out Cincy. DK Metcalf, you say your process of fading him was sound. Lattimore, St. Steve, they've shut down wide receiver 1s. And he only had 2 targets. It's just that one target was 84 yards and a touchdown. And DK Metcalf's career-long touchdown of his career. I mean, you can't do anything about a career day.
But that's like, it wasn't even like a career day. Literally only had 2 catches.
Career-long. Yeah, but it was his career-long.
Yeah. Like, the moment I saw that, I was like, and I lost another one. Are you freaking serious?
That's without bonus points.
But I mean, like, the first sentence was, I know I'm a freaking idiot for fading Metcalf.
I mean, you were right though. Like you said, you were technically right, because if that's a 14-yard stop, all of a sudden,
it's a completely different game.
Yeah, that's a 15.4 point play.
And that's assuming there's no bonuses.
Yeah, that's assuming no bonuses over 40 yards or 50 yards for a touchdown. So, like, in some leagues, that's like almost a 20-point play.
Yeah.
So, tough. And then, big shout-out, Khalil Herbert. What a guy, honestly. Josh saying you convinced me he's one of the top 15 best running backs in the NFL right now. Bold. And a side note that 3 straight running backs.
I said you can convince me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Josh, because you've now opened the door to the question, are we worried about Monty now? I mean, you've always been.
Look, I mentioned this before. They're still losing. What's the point of bringing Montgomery back?
Well, because we had one of our regulars, and I apologize for not remembering who it was. It may have actually been Elixirs, but it may not have been. Ask if Monty's in a timeshare at the end of the show, and we all violently shook our heads no, and now it's maybe not so violent.
I mean, at the end of the day, having 2 really good running backs in the NFL is not a bad thing.
Oh, it's great for the Bears.
Yeah.
It's terrible for fantasy.
But Matt Nagy's not going to do anything with him.
Exactly.
He can't even craft an offense for a mobile quarterback at this point.
Well, Matt Nagy's also can't think with his brain. He just doesn't think. So whatever we think he's going to do, he'll do the exact opposite. Yeah. So an honorable mention to Marshawn Lynch saying he just doesn't care.
The only highlight from that Monday game.
So if Marshawn is looking to join the
He's
show,
watching that formation like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, he's like, all right, we got to go.
if Marshawn is looking for a show where he can do shots of Henny and say,
let's go, brother, let's go.
We'll have you, bro. Happily. We'll add you permanently 4th host.
Yeah. God, I love Marshawn Lynch. He's amazing. Ryan, this is a first. First up to the National Weather Service. for calling that San
all that
Francisco
coverage
Indian
on
game.
that, what do they call it, a bomb cyclone or cyclone bomb or whatever for that storm. So
Yeah. Put 3 player props in for Ryan, both quarterbacks under 200, JT over 60, said an easy $100 he won.
Yep.
Also, you have Elijah Mitchell and Dearness Johnson for making Joe look bad. Don't worry, I'll address that in my 3-ups. And
it's victory lap season on the week 8 preview.
Yeah, apparently. It is. And you said seriously though, what the hell with Trey Sermon?
0 touches. What is that?
That is a Kyle Shanahan special. Because you know what? You know what's going to happen next week? Elijah Mitchell will have 2 carries. That's what's going to happen next week. That's the Kyle Shanahan special right there.
Yeah.
And then you have Alvin Kamara and DeAndre Swift for being the best receivers on their team. One of my ups has a bone to pick with you about the Lions receivers. So give me a second here. My first up, I have Kendrick Bourne for having more passing touchdowns to a wide receiver through 7 weeks of football than Cam Newton did in 2020. I'm not wrong. I am not wrong. Kendrick Bourne has
We're
more
not laughing because you're wrong. We're just laughing because it's funny.
Kendrick Bourne has more touchdown passes to a receiver through 7 weeks of football than Cam Newton did through 7 weeks in 2020. And Kendrick Bourne has thrown a single pass.
Yeah.
Love it. Brandon Bolden for scoring more points than Elijah Mitchell. You didn't have to spend $100 in fab to get Brandon Bolden.
Certainly not.
And Khalif Raymond checking in with 115 yards on 6 catches. Electric stuff. Jalen Ramsey, my ass. He did make a good interception, though. Yeah, he did make a good interception. I will give him that. It was very difficult. But I mean, did you? So everyone saw Ramsey's interception, right?
Yep.
How fucking atrocious of a pass was that by Jared Goff? It didn't even want to be a spiral. It looked like this. It looked like a butterfly trying to regain balance. It was awful. Okay, we'll quickly get through these 3 downs here because we just have one question in right now. Don't worry, we'll get over to you. Javion Greatvid. I hope I said that right. Downs. It's weird because Josh and Ryan have 2 of the same, so we'll address them at the same time. Both of you have Sam Darnold. Ryan saying no explanation needed. Josh saying this time it wasn't Adam Gase's fault.
I got sucked in. I owe so many apologies to so many people.
Well, let's see. We got 42 minutes.
We got 42 minutes. Got plenty of time. Ryan and Josh also both have Patrick Mahomes, which is kind of roped into my thing as well, but we'll get to mine in a little bit. Ryan, you said for being Sam Darnold-esque, and Josh saying someone called a mechanic, he's broken. So, aggressive. Josh, you have Calvin Ridley as your 3rd down, and you basically asked the question, at what point do we worry about him? 40% catch rate on 10 targets last week, basically 60% catch rate throughout the season. 5.4 yards per target this year compared to and 9.1 yards per reception this year as well. I mean, it's basically in terms of yards per target. Yeah, in terms of yards per target, it's almost cut in half this season. So tough. Ryan, your 3rd down was Kyle Juszczyk, 0.
Sorry,
I would just like to point out Ross Dwelly with more fantasy points than Kyle.
Yeah,
Pow!
How many fantasy points? How many fantasy points?
Oh, he had like 1.5.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, none.
Juszczyk with 0 touches. I got to stop with these crazy calls because it has killed me on the 2 I've made with David Njoku and Kyle Juszczyk.
Both put up goose eggs in those weeks,
yes.
right? Yep. Yes.
Both had 0 touches. I think they both were 0.
When in doubt, Ryan, just say no.
Just say no.
I'm going to stop taking big swings.
Well, Ryan, see, you have to learn from the master of big swings.
Okay.
My 3 downs. The Chiefs. If only someone told you they were going 11-6 this year. If only someone told you that. Because they're really on track to do that right now.
Yeah. Are you sure? Because I'm thinking
I was about to say they might
could be worse.
9-8
honestly.
9-8 might be the issue.
Could be worse. Also, the Bears. If only someone told you not to start Darnell Mooney because Justin Fields would be under pressure all game. Couldn't have been Josh, so it was me.
Was boom or bust.
Fields was sacked 4 times. 6 quarterback hits and 1 pass deflection at the line, along with 3 fumbles where he lost 2 of them. I told you it wasn't going to be Mooney. It was going to be Justin Fields.
And now Matt Nagy's on the COVID list, too. That actually might be good for them.
I was going to say, that might be good for them. But I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched many Bears games.
God, that's so sad to say.
Yeah. Joe, you hit on this early, and I hate to say anything that's going to make that head get any bigger. But
Thank you.
You have to start thinking this elongated release of Justin Fields is an issue because he's getting hit more than damn near more than any quarterback in the league, I would imagine this way, except maybe Patrick Mahomes. So
he averaged.
Give me a second.
The offensive line averaged 1 sack per quarter and 1.5 quarterback hits per quarter.
Yeah. So
he was being, and again, I don't know how many possessions they had, but he was being pressured at least once on every possession. That's not good. Like that is not good offensive line play. And 2, I didn't even think to even bring that part. The offensive line is just atrocious. But you're right. I said it. He has a 0.8 second release time. It sounds fast, guys. It sounds fast. It is double the NFL average, almost triple the NFL average.
And the truthers are all going to point to bad coaching, but we've seen elite rookie quarterbacks, even good rookie quarterbacks, overcome bad coaching. One who comes to mind for me his rookie year, and I know we're not a fan of him on the show, but Baker Mayfield overcame bad coaching that first year.
He did.
So, and that wasn't a great Browns team surrounding him at that point.
Yeah.
Fields should be better than this. I mean, that's plainly and simply. Go ahead.
I was going to say I have the answer to your most pressured question. So in terms of pressures, according to Pro Football Focus, Justin Fields is actually 60, or he has 66 total pressures, which is actually 25th among quarterbacks right now.
No, I mean he didn't
play.
I know. Yeah. Hang on. I'm getting there. There are 2 quarterbacks tied for the most pressures. Any guess on who they are?
Got to be Mahomes. It seems like he's thrown under pressure.
Mahomes is third, actually.
Okay.
Mahomes is third. Lawrence?
No. Trevor Lawrence is 14th, actually, with 83.
Interesting.
Sam Darnold.
Oh, okay. That makes
Darnold.
Sense.
Okay.
Baker.
And Jalen Hurts.
Interesting.
Now, when you look at quarterbacks who have been sacked the most, the correct answer is Justin Fields at 22, Lamar Jackson, Ryan Tannehill at 21. And then pressure percentage, meaning the number of pressures in accordance with sacks, Fields is slightly ahead of Baker. Literally a third of his pressures have resulted in sacks.
These quarterbacks, a lot of the bad quarterback play we're seeing, and I'm not excusing Sam Darnold, but a lot of the bad quarterback play we're seeing, these offensive lines are doing nobody any favors this year.
Yeah, your pressure percentage is your offensive line. I think that's the offensive line statistic. The sacks you take is indicative of quarterback skill.
I think those fumbles from Fields, because I think
yes,
the longer release is giving those players times to knock that ball out of there. So
it looks like he's throwing in slow motion. It really does. Compared, like Tom Brady, who has one of the fastest releases in NFL history at 0.3 seconds. Fields is almost throwing 3 times as slower.
Yep.
Like, that's crazy. And my last one, Julio Jones, if only someone told you before the season that hamstring isn't magically fixed.
Correct.
He has 1 double-digit game this year.
Yep.
Currently wide receiver.
I think that was week 3?
Week 2 or week 3. He's currently wide receiver 68 or 66 in PPR. And you were drafting him in the top 20. So, sorry. Sorry, guys. Really, I'm just telling you, listen to the show more. Listen to the show next year. You're going to be better off. It's going to be be good. But
I think we all universally were down on Julio. So at least that's
I think everyone on the show was.
Yeah,
I was down. Yeah, I was in the grave with Julio. You guys were down on him. I will say, kudos to the show for being down on him.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into these. Javion, do you trade away Kamara and DeAndre Hopkins for Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, and Calvin Ridley? Ridley is, I'm not going to lie to you, to me, Ridley's a fucking throw-in at this point. So to me, it's CMC and Mixon for Kamara and Hopkins.
I think that's so much to get back. I would take the CMC Mixon Ridley. I'm not as nearly as down on Ridley as you guys are.
I'm not down on Ridley per se. Like, he's still getting the targets. It's just at what point does he start turning those targets into legit production?
Yeah.
From a production perspective, this side heavily favors Kamara and Hopkins. And right now I want the pieces that are going to help me because CMC is still out another 2 weeks at minimum.
1 week.
Yeah,
1
if he
week.
comes back or when he comes back. No, because he was placed on IR heading into this week.
No, last week.
No, last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah, he was put on IR, I think, the Sunday morning, of last week's game.
Yeah.
it was stupid.
But I mean, even then, that all that means is they act to open the window, so he could still miss another 3 weeks.
No, yeah, he's just not. Yeah,
You
he
know,
does
I
not
mean,
need to
Mixon's
come
great, but the high level production from Mixon has all come against really bad teams. I feel like if you need the extra running back depth, then sure, take the CMC Mixon side. But I want the production, so give me Kamara and Hopkins.
Ryan, so you said CMC Mixon.
Yeah,
right?
I'll take the 3-player side.
I mean, I'm all for more running backs that are really good at this point, but I'll probably stick with Kamara. And again, if you have a winning record, don't break the mold. If you have a winning record, continue with the winning record. If you're 3-4 because the rest of your team is kind of slacking a little bit, I don't hate the Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon side of things. You should have to wait out the extra presumable week with McCaffrey.
I was going to say, and the caveat here, Kamara had his bye week already. That helps.
Yes, that does help. All right, from Alex, another trade question. Austin Eckler and Devonta Smith for Nick Chubb and Calvin Ridley. So we'll start here. Who would you rather have, Austin Eckler or Nick Chubb, Josh?
Eckler.
Ryan?
Eckler.
I would also rather... Okay, if it's a standard, which I presume it's not. If it's a standard, it's Nick Chubb. It's not even close. Anything else, it's Austin Eckler. Who would you rather have, Calvin Ridley or Devonta Smith, Ryan?
Ridley.
Josh?
Ridley.
Okay, so that's the tough part here. Obviously, you're. I would lean the Nick Chubb side of things because you're not losing as much production from Nick Chubb to Eckler as you are from Devonta Smith to Calvin.
And there's
Ridley.
no guarantee Hunt's back in 3 or 4 weeks. So, because he's definitely going to outplay the 3-week IR.
Yeah.
So, I think these next 4 games for Chubb, because the Browns have a week 13 bye, I think.
They're late.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go Chubb and Ridley. Josh?
Yeah, Chubb and Ridley. I mean, I always like getting the better player back, which is the Eckler side, but Smith just isn't doing enough for me right now. So I'll take Chubb and Ridley.
Targets are there, just not the production.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad responding to the
Yeah, I
Kyle
saw that.
comment. Yes,
Made
the
me feel
one.
better.
Yeah. Chris saying he thinks the Lions are better than the Bears right now. I mean, the Lions put up a decent half against the Rams, so you're not wrong, I guess. It's just, it is tough to say.
Yeah,
any Detroit.
that's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, that is a quick race to the bottom, too. Flash Red over on Twitch, is Derek Carr going to be a top 12 quarterback rest of the season? Fun fact that I learned, he is second in the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
How about that? Right behind the GOAT, Tom Brady. So, I mean, it's a good question. I think it's a fair question to ask.
Great question.
Great question. I wouldn't put him. I'd probably put him in that 7 to 10 range. I would say yes. I don't see why not. It's not like their defense has been playing better, but it's not like their secondary and their linebackers can keep up what they're doing against good teams.
I think a great way to look at this is I brought up the top 12 right now. Who not in the top 12 could overtake him? Maybe Kirk Cousins. And honestly, that's it. So, yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. I mean, and we say this all the time about Kirk Cousins. Can he be a top 12? Absolutely, because he does it damn near every year. But it's all right, who's going to fall out that's going to get hurt? Because that's just, what happens. And right now, Derek Carr is literally sitting at 12. Carson Wentz has looked better. He's not turning the football over, which is good. I think if he gets more touchdowns, he could elevate.
Yeah.
But literally nobody else under that. I mean, Heineke, Bridgewater, Winston, Darnold, Matt Ryan, maybe if he keeps throwing the football the way that he has been. But
and then if you believe in the Tannehill resurgence, I don't. Russell Wilson. I guess I did miss Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson could take that back, assuming he comes back and is Russell Wilson again. But that's about
yeah,
it.
but wasn't his finger injury, they listed it like 6 to 8 weeks?
No. I just read about it today. He got the pins removed yesterday. He's looking very good to come off of IR and play the first week he's eligible. So,
because Russell Wilson's a badass.
Yep.
Facts. Yeah.
I mean, Carr still has a 40-point advantage now.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean we're not.
It's top 12 from this point.
Yeah, you got to erase everything that's already happened.
Yeah.
So.
All right, that's fair.
I would say yes. 100% I would say yes. James, start Tampa Bay or the Niners this week? Who are we thinking? I don't know. Tampa is in New Orleans.
And Niners are in Chicago.
If it's I guess sack heavy goes both ways.
Here's the thing.
Didn't New Orleans just lose Andres Pete too?
Yes.
That's
I guess that what it really comes down to is the 49ers are fun and have a ton of upside. I'm not cutting Tampa Bay to get them. If you somehow have them both on roster, I'm fine with running the Niners out there. But I'm not going to make the roster move. I'm not cutting Tampa Bay's defense because they're solid every week. So I'm fine with starting either one. I have them right next to each other in my rankings. I have Tampa Bay at 5, I think it's 5 and 6. So
I'll second that. Yeah. I mean, if you have Tampa, I wouldn't outright release them just for, the 1 week against Chicago.
I think you're better odds of scoring a touchdown, Tampa Bay. So I'll say Tampa Bay in this matchup.
Yeah, I'd love to see Levante David back.
Oh, my heart, Levante David.
Yeah.
I love Levante David. Elixirs, Chase Edmonds, Zachary Moss in a standard. Ryan.
Because it's standard, you have to go Moss. I feel like I feel like this is a good game for Edmonds, mainly because I'm predicting just Arizona beatdown on Thursday night, and I feel like Edmonds is going to get his. But Moss scores the touchdowns. That's what it really comes down to. I think he has 4 or 5 on the year, whereas Singletary has 0 or maybe 1. So
Singletary has 1.
0.
Yeah, Singletary has 1 against the Dolphins.
Receiving, right?
No, it was.
That was the week that Zach Moss didn't play, right?
Zach Moss did play. It was just a 51-yard run, so Singletary got it at midfield. Zach Moss, I think, had 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown.
That's right. That was the game with the fumble, and then he came back and scored the game-winning touchdown.
Buffalo scored like 45 points that game. They smoked them. I'll go Zach Moss because I have Zach Moss my upside this week because I love the matchup against Miami, and it's in Buffalo this time. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, standard, you're still going Moss regardless. I mean, he's, Edmonds doesn't score touchdowns. So, it's not close for me.
Not viable. Moss. From James again, trade Darrell Henderson, David Montgomery, Jerry Jeudy, and Logan Thomas for Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Cooks in an 8-man PPR league. So basically, you're getting Christian McCaffrey for Darrell Henderson and David Montgomery. You're getting Brandon Cooks. A lot of injured
players.
You're getting Brandon Cooks for Jerry Jeudy and Logan Thomas.
I mean, all rosters are stacked in an 8-man league.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey is a difference maker if he comes back and he's Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, and he shut off his mic mid-sentence.
Give me the CMC side.
Okay. I will.
I couldn't do that again if I tried.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. I'll also go. I am in love with Christian McCaffrey, so I will go the Christian McCaffrey side. I'm a little hesitant, but I will go the Christian McCaffrey side because I have a great feeling you could find like 11 wide receivers on waivers right now that are just good. So,
yeah, my thinking here is if you're trading Henderson and Monty, obviously you haven't been running out Monty. So who are you playing with Henderson? Because that's essentially who you're playing with CMC at this point. I assume it's probably somebody good because it's an 8-man league. But I mean, look, CMC is the better player right now. Henderson's performing though, so that's
so good.
That definitely makes you think. I will say that.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the story? I'm sorry. Did you see the story from Sean McVay that Cam Akers is recovered enough that they think if they make the playoffs,
apparently Sean McVay pays way too close attention to fantasy football Twitter and is really just trying to get all of it.
He would have Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey. Make that trade.
Yeah.
Make that trade.
Derrick Henry will pull the weight you need.
I was going to say Henry can carry you anyway. So
Just start one running back.
Yeah. Cam Akers will not play in the playoffs. Cam Akers is not playing in the playoffs. He tore his
that.
fucking ACL in August. He's not playing in the playoffs.
Achilles, not even ACL.
Oh, Achilles. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening. Over under Kyler 22.5 fantasy points Thursday night. I don't know.
4 point per touchdown or 6 point per touchdown?
Over. I don't care.
No,
No, true. Over.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. Green Bay allowed 70 plays to Washington, 60 from what?
He's saying
70
he's guaranteeing
plays
60 plays
so
for
60 from Kyler.
Yeah.
No shot.
please.
Because Washington was playing from behind.
Yeah.
Arizona will be playing from ahead. So that is not going to happen. Oh, we have a Brandon Bolden question, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Bolden, or the quad god himself, Mike Davis, who everyone overpaid for. Dang, I am going to say Brandon Bolden.
Here's my issue with this question.
Sure.
Because what it seems to be is they wait until right before game time to make either Ramondre Stevens inactive. When Stevenson is inactive, Brandon Bolden goes off because then he becomes the pass catching back.
Yeah.
But when Stevenson plays, Bolden doesn't typically go off. And New England plays at 4. So they don't have to make their announcements until after the start of the 1 o'clock games where Atlanta plays Carolina.
Bolden might only play special teams and score more points than Mike Davis.
It's a revenge game, all right? Just throwing that out there for Mike Davis.
Carolina is
Again, that's my caveat here. Like, for me, the easy answer is Bolden because he's outperforming him. But, again, he's not always playing.
But neither is Mike Davis.
What have we said?
Not just Mike Davis.
What have we said? Like 2 points from a healthy guy is better than 0 points from an inactive. Like
Yeah, but they're both healthy.
Bolden will never be inactive. Bolden is their special teams guy. It's just a question of what his role will be.
I'm sorry, real quick. I'm just.
It's either Taylor or Stevenson who go inactive. He flips between those two. So
yeah, but again, like when
you're 100% right. Yeah.
When Stevenson's active, he actually plays. When Taylor is active, that's Bolden plays.
Here's the thing. I actually expect a good game out of the Chargers defense. And if there's a ton of pressure on Mac Jones, that's going to be Bolden on the field more as well to protect him. So
I still think it's a very risky play, but yes, I'm going Bolden here as well.
I love that Josh gave all that to agree.
Brandon Bolden has
Mike Davis he has already lost that role to Cordell Patterson.
I put out an article for Football Guys this week. Mike Davis is probably a drop in every format at this point. So.
Brandon Bolden had more fantasy points last week than Mike Davis has had in the last 2 weeks of play. And Brandon Bolden last week only put up 3 less fantasy points than Mike Davis has in the last 3 weeks of fantasy football.
You can't compare a big game to Mike Davis.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's still a week-to-week game. So even if Bolden puts up a 0 this week, that's still going to be true. But it doesn't help you this week. So
I'm just saying, Brandon Bolden. I would go with Brandon Bolden. Next one. Chris, with Mark Ingram in New Orleans now, is he or David Johnson worth a bench spot? Asking for a friend. David Johnson is more worth a bench spot because he catches passes.
Yep. I actually had a follower ask that same question today. It's David Johnson.
Yeah. From Will, thoughts on Hilton if he plays this week? I assume T.Y. Hilton. If he does start, needs 2. A.J. Green, Emmanuel Sanders, Cortland Sutton, T.Y. Hilton.
Man, how the mighty have fallen with Cortland Sutton getting thrown in this mix.
Yeah, I don't know why we're second guessing. Who's Denver playing this week?
Washington.
Yeah, why are we second guessing Cortland Sutton here?
Because Jerry Jeudy's supposed to come back this week.
I don't care. Why are we second guessing Cortland Sutton here?
Again, this is how the minds work of fantasy players. They saw Cortland Sutton they saw Sutton out snap Jerry Jeudy in week 1. And Jerry Jeudy outperformed Sutton in week 1.
Yeah.
So now, because Jeudy has been out this entire time, Jeudy's coming back. Jeudy's going to be more productive than Sutton. I personally don't think that's the case. I've been Sutton over Jeudy from the get-go.
I honestly like both of them this week, and I still like Tim Patrick. Washington's been bad.
They're
so
bad.
I think Sutton is a start. I think it's very hard to bench Emmanuel Sanders with what that Buffalo offense has been doing.
Especially against Miami.
And Miami's defense has been so
Yeah.
bad.
Let's be honest here. You have 4 unbelievable matchups.
Yeah, that's true. Like AJ
4
Green,
great matchups.
AJ Green's going to see 5 targets. It's just, does he find the end zone or not? And it's so hard predicting that with that damn offense.
Yeah.
I would personally bank on the volume and go Sutton and Sanders at this point. That's what I would do.
I would do that as well. I have Michael Pittman as my upside receiver this week.
If you are worried about Jerry Jeudy pivoting to AJ Green, there are worse pivots.
Yeah, I don't think we're pivoting to Hilton because I think Pittman is pretty well establishing himself.
Yeah.
Isn't Deandre Hopkins, and I know he's listed as questionable every week, but didn't they just drop a questionable tag on him today too?
Yep.
I'm going to throw just an interesting thing out. This is the kind of week where if we're right and they get out to a big lead, they could sit Hopkins and then Green becomes the guy on the outside there. And that makes it, I know that's just making the decision harder. I would still go Sanders and Sutton, but I will not be surprised if AJ Green scores a touchdown this week.
I'm going Sanders and Sutton as well. My upside receiver for the Colts this week is Pittman. I'm dying.
Good Lord, man.
It's the curse of T.Y. Hilton. You turned your back on.
It was funny if I could talk.
This is 2 out of 3 weeks. Joe is just dying on the show.
Yeah. I was going to say,
water,
if I could talk, that was T.Y. Hilton coming. Yeah, that was T.Y. Hilton coming at me. Okay. While I recover, Cooks, Higgins, or Judy in a standard, Ryan?
Whew. I'm not ready to gamble on Judy first week back. I'm actually a little down on Higgins this week, but out of this group, I would go Higgins.
I mean, they play the Jets, so rightfully so, but I would go Higgins as well,
yeah.
Josh.
It's amazing how everybody turned their back on Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a must start. He's quarterback proof, blah, blah, blah. Now nobody wants to touch him.
Yep. Great. Turns out Davis Mills is quarterback proof.
Davis Mills is Cooks proof, I think.
Yeah, Brandon. I really don't like Higgins' matchup. I just think they're just going to run all over the Jets, and this is what teams do. But, God, it's hard to sit away from potential 15 targets. I don't care if it's only 6 catches. Give me Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins. Forgive Jonah. Would you trade Travis Kelsey and Miles Sanders for Kyle Pitts and Delvin Cook in a PPR?
Wow.
I would.
Yeah.
Right now, I would, yeah.
So I'm going to be honest. I saw the first half of this question and stopped reading it because I'm like, there's no way you're going to talk me into trading Travis Kelsey. I should have finished the question because, yes, I'll move Kelsey in that deal. I love Pitts. That kid is special. I was not nearly as on board enough as I should have been.
Pitts is a wide receiver.
I will say what he's done the last 2 weeks have been against 2 really, really,
now,
really
what I really want
defenses.
to – so – okay, I don't follow the Falcons very closely at all. I have never seen Pitts. Do you have, Josh, do one of the sites we subscribe to, how often does he actually line up at tight end? Because I don't think it's often.
Never.
And how quickly does that change? Because when he gets into contract talks, he's going to want to be called a wide receiver.
All right.
Well, doesn't Kelsey make 15?
I think Kelsey's the exception, not the rule.
No, I know, but Travis Kelsey's
yeah, that's true.
That's the level. So if he wants to get paid like that, he's going to probably ask for 18. That's what I'm saying. So he's probably going to get paid like a top tier receiver regardless. But yes, is a good point to see where he lines up.
He is lining up in line through 6 games, only 27%.
I knew it. I've seen so many plays and he looks like Julio out there. He looks like Julio.
Oh my God.
Last week was his fewest routes from
the least surprising thing you've ever said.
It's almost like someone said that when they traded Julio, Kyle Pitts would fill the Julio role.
Everyone said that.
No, you guys did not agree on that day when Julio was traded and we did the next show. You guys did not agree with that statement. I know for a fact you didn't agree with that statement. You said he might slide out there a few times, but he's still going to play tight end. I said, no, he will fill the Julio role. You guys did not adamantly agree with that. I know that for a fact.
I don't agree with you, but let's just move on.
I'm just saying you did not agree with that adamantly.
Now I feel like going to pull the receipts. Jesus.
I'm just saying.
Jesus, that doesn't
Make the
sound
trade.
like at all.
Yeah.
Because we were all high on Hayden Hurst being the actual tight end in this offense.
I wouldn't say we were high. We just said
Ryan and I were, or at least
we said Cole Kmet was being drafted 300 spots ahead of Hayden Hurst and that he shouldn't be. Carrington, there's a dude rebuilding in his dynasty league. He's put Allen Robinson in the trade block. What kind of pick would you a fourth? Dude, have you seen how fucking bad that team is?
I mean, Robinson's gone next year regardless in a dynasty.
Yeah.
I'd throw a second.
I'd throw a third.
I think a second should be able to get the deal done. I mean, you're going to find some Robinson managers that are very, very frustrated, and they'll take just about anything. I will say that I think it was within, and Chris, I know you're in the chat, so you can probably vouch for this one. But I traded a first in 2023 for Allen Robinson after I think it was 3 or 4 weeks of this season. Which in hindsight, probably not very smart, seeing as how this season has gone, but I needed some depth and whatever. I've got a contending team, so it doesn't matter.
I'm worried that the Allen Robinson managers are being greedy right now because I caught a lot of shit for calling Allen Robinson a drop candidate in redraft this week.
Well, Carrington,
I know you're Instagram famous now on that.
Yeah.
Carrington, you did the right thing in offering him a bag of chips.
Yeah, that's a good starting point.
That's literally what he's worth. I would throw a third. Throw a third.
I'm fine with paying a second, especially if you're
third. I'll tell you, third's not going to get it done.
Yeah,
a second, depending on where it
don't
could
know.
Potentially
you don't.
I said I don't think it will, but it could.
I don't feel like
all you're doing is by throwing a third, you're risking pissing the manager off to the point where you're not going to get him for quote a bag of chips,
and
then
a
second round pick.
If you're contending, that second is a late second anyway. So
exactly.
I don't know. All I know is that in my trade today with Josh, where I sent him Randall Cobb for a 2023 fourth.
Hey, I threw out a 5th rounder. I was like, whatever. I just need somebody for this week.
Josh threw
coming back for a third.
Well, I came back with it. You want to know what I know the psychology behind that. I knew you didn't have a fourth for next year. So if I came back with a third, I'm like, cool. Maybe he's that desperate this week, and he's a contender that he'll give away this third for Randall Cobb. If not, I know he's going to counter with next year's 4th round pick. That's exactly what you did. So
you played him.
Boom.
Because it's a 4th round pick. I don't really care about 4th.
Yeah, it's a 4th round pick. I wanted a 4th this year from you. You don't have one, so I was like, all right, let's try a third. You didn't go for it. That's fine. Flash Red, Michael Carter or Devonte Smith in the flexi.
Why am I blanking on who the Eagles played? Detroit, right?
Yep. The game we're going to lose.
Devonte Smith.
If it's full PPR, Michael Carter was targeted 10 times last week.
He had 18 points or something.
Yeah. I'm a big Michael Carter guy, but I would still go Smith.
Josh?
I would go Smith. This needs to be Smith's breakout game against the Lions. It needs to be, especially without Miles Sanders. But I think you'll get solid production from Carter too if you really don't trust Devonte. Flash Red, I really want you to learn how to spell Devonta's first name because that just ain't right.
Divinti. I think he was thinking Devonta.
And just for that, play Michael Carter, damn it. Put some respect on Devonta's name.
I think he was trying to spell Devonta, but in his head he was thinking Da Vinci.
I'm not gonna call anybody out today, but I read a DFS article by a competitor.
Call him out.
No, I won't. It's very rude, but I've never seen so many names spelled incorrectly in my entire life, and I'm now realizing more and more how much that just kills your credibility.
Call him out.
No, I'll tell you guys after the show.
Call him out.
They're friends.
Bitch, call him out. Okay, Boss Man Fat, good to see you in here again, buddy. Devontae L. Cole Beasley or Melgo at the flex. I would roll Beasley. I don't like Melvin Gordon's matchup against the Washington football team.
Yeah, I would go Beasley as well.
Yep, Beasley.
Okay, from G, Mr. Tunyon or Hunter Henry and a peeper.
That's another one. I know that's how it's pronounced, but G, come on, spell it correctly. It's Ton.
That's why he did it like that.
I'm pretty sure we're.
Yeah. Tunyon or Hunter? I mean, at this point, if MVS doesn't play,
with Jonnu Smith out, I don't think you can bench Henry at this point. Tight ends are so bad.
But Hunter Henry, and they're not playing the Titans. They're playing the Chargers.
The fuck are you talking about? Jonnu Smith is out, thus helping Hunter Henry. I said I don't think you can bench Hunter Henry at this point.
Oh, I thought you said against the Titans.
No.
I thought I heard against the Titans.
No.
Yeah. Nope.
I have Henry as an upside play. I'm going to lean here. But
I know again, everybody wants
Arizona does really well against tight ends.
They do.
So I will not be shocked if Tunyon goes off just from the simple fact that they have nobody else, but do not be surprised if he gets shut down because Arizona is really good against the tight ends.
I had to do some research on Tunyon this week. In the games where he did not score a touchdown, he doesn't score 3 fantasy points.
Yeah,
so he either scores or does nothing.
In the 2 games that Adams missed last year, Tunyon had, I think, 11 catches, 143 yards.
Oh, interesting. Good pull.
Jonnu is not officially out yet. There's just no word on him.
I assume as reports come in throughout the week, we'll get some updates. But
hey, Hunter Henry revenge game.
That's right.
Hunter Henry revenge game.
And he scored in 4 straight weeks. So
he has, all in the red zone. Brad from Brad Montgomery, which side? Mixon in Bolden or Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor.
There's no question for me on that one.
Every day of the week, it's Jonathan Taylor. It was the Colts Twitter put out a graphic today of like basically hinting towards it's going to be a ridiculous matchup on the ground this week between Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. I am going to pull up the graphic right now, but it's ridiculous how productive Jonathan Taylor is on just so many less carries than Derrick Henry.
My most disgusting pull of the week was that Jonathan Taylor only has 13 more carries, I think it is, than Mark Ingram on the season.
It's
I remember you pulled that out before the weekend. Yeah.
So in 105 attempts, which is 4th most in the NFL, Jonathan Taylor has the 2nd most rushing yards at 579. Derrick Henry obviously is 1st in both categories, but just to show you how much Derrick Henry gets handed the football, Jonathan Taylor is 4th with 105 attempts. Derrick Henry is 1st with 191 rushing attempts.
Almost double.
He could very well top 400 this year with the extra week. And he has 869 rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor...
he could end this week at over 1,000 rushing yards.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor averages 5.5 yards per carry.
Yep.
You could hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor, and it would, if you started on the 25-yard line, it would take you 13 plays to get in the end zone. If you just hand it to Jonathan Taylor every play.
Here's a fun poll about Derrick Henry versus the Indianapolis Colts. His last 4 games, 149 rushing yards, 103 rushing yards, 178 rushing yards, 113 rushing yards.
And here's the thing: those last
you're
4
saying
games
bet Derrick Henry over 100 rushing.
And I was just going to say, and those last 4 games have come when the Colts are good against the running back. So even though we're going to say the Colts are good against the running back, it doesn't matter.
They're not good against a running back. Oh, yeah, Jonathan Taylor, not even close.
Yeah, get JT.
No one wants Allen Robinson in his league. He's on waivers for the 3rd time.
See, and I love hearing that because, like I said, I'm in hot water with some casuals right now.
With some cash. Brandon, would you guys do D-Hop for Mixon or maybe D-Hop for Darrell Henderson? I wouldn't do D-Hop for anybody. Mixon is kind of enticing, but I really wouldn't do D-Hop for anybody unless you really need a running back. Then I would go for Joe Mixon.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what your other wide receivers are.
That's all I would need to know. And more importantly, who your other running backs are, because why do you need this running back?
I personally would prefer Henderson. He's been more consistent.
Brandon, I have a very important question. You have the exact spelling and name of my middle brother. Are we related?
Are we related? Yeah, if you need running backs, Mixon would be the floor for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I personally would do Mixon for D-Hop. I'm running backs all day long. So
yeah. We won't answer this one for Faith.
Faith,
She's saying,
come
would you drop
on.
Andrews for Fant? We'll just let Brad
Come
answer it.
on.
Don't drop Andrews.
Drop somebody for Fant. Do
Yeah.
not. Oh my God, it is my brother. Since when do you play fantasy, dude?
What if he's lying to you right now? What if he's lying to you right now? That would be
Probably
amazing.
is, but now I'm so fucking curious.
That'd be amazing. Brad, you said it. Fant's a great replacement, but do not drop Mark Andrews. That's correct. You definitely have a wide receiver on your team that you could drop and no one would be rushing to pick up. 100%.
I'm curious to know what kind of league this is, Faith, because I
That
know you
Fant
play
is
a
on
lot of
waivers.
different
That's
leagues.
Yeah,
exactly
Fant's on
what I was
waivers.
wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elixir says he once again needs a tight end since the Raiders are on a bye. Robert Tunyon, Tyler Conklin, Jared Cook, or Cole Kmet. I will spoil my upside tight end. I like Tyler Conklin this week because the Vikings are going to need to throw
Also-
the football.
Also spoiling my stream of the week tight end.
Tyler Conklin. Josh?
There you go.
Spoiling your...
I'm down on Komet this week. Cook is actually my fade this week. I don't hate Conklin's matchup. And again, I've said it before. I don't like Tunyon's matchup, but they have no one else to throw
Yeah,
to.
that's literally the half.
Like I would go Tunyon in this spot, and I know it's risky, but yeah, I would go Tunyon here because Conklin's like the fourth option in that passing offense. Tunyon might be the first.
Oh, well, Osborne's the third. I take that back.
No, well, Cook, Thielen, Jefferson. You could argue Conklin's fifth behind Osborne.
I don't care. They're going to need to throw to him. Like, they're going
I'm not saying they won't throw to him. I'm
Yeah.
saying that Tunyon has a higher chance of seeing more targets. And
Sure.
you always want to chase volume.
Yep,
So.
higher volume at that point. All right. We got to fly through some of these because we are 56 minutes in. This is great.
I love it.
Okay. Parker, does he trade Eckler for Aaron Jones and Calvin Ridley? He's 3-4. He has Devonte Adams, Keenan Allen, Antonio Brown. His running backs are Darrell Williams, CEH, and Mike Davis. You already have three great receivers. You don't need a fourth one, so I would stick with Eckler. Because
There's a chance AB is going to be out for quite some time.
I don't care. You have Devonte Adams and Keenan Allen.
Who's also out this week?
Keenan Allen's out this week?
No, Devonte Adams.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? I don't care. Adams is out with COVID.
As great as Eckler is, like Aaron Jones isn't bad, and you're getting a potential top 12 receiver the rest of the year.
Let's keep one thing in mind. If you can get this trade done before Thursday, we are hitting on Robert Tunyon. It's Aaron Jones who is benefiting this week.
Not from the run game, from the 20 targets.
Aaron
he's
Jones should be at
backfield.
10 targets. We should see a Alvin Kamara game.
Yeah.
This is one of those instances where, look, it sucks to lose a running back as good as Eckler.
Yeah.
But you're not falling that far off at running back, and you're improving a lot at wide receiver.
Yeah, I make the trade.
I would do this deal.
Okay. Do the trade. What do I know? What do I know, Parker? Make the trade. Just know I was on the back burner on this trade. I do like Aaron Jones, Calvin Ridley. I just don't think you need to move because you got some good wide receivers there.
I love that we were flying through these until we disagreed with Joe.
Yep. I run the show. From my brother Funyon Tunyon, RSJ, Dan Arnold, Komet, Moose Usoma, or Mo Alley Cox, saying he clearly needs help with this. I was actually contemplating between Conklin and Freiermuth as my upside, so I will go Pat Freiermuth.
Oh, you're getting different answers from everyone because Josh is going to lean Tunyon and I'm going to say Uzoma. So
great, fantastic.
Sorry.
Flip 3 coins.
Pick your favorite host.
Rock, paper, scissors with yourself, and just do kind of a best of 3 tournament. Shut up, you idiots. Really? This is the kind of show we're doing now?
59 minutes in.
Is the kind of show we're doing now?
Apparently, you did it.
Jeez. Just so everyone knows, I'm 15 years younger than these idiots right here.
That's right.
15 years younger.
I'm okay with
it. If anyone ever tells you that men grow up, it is false.
We know.
It is so
even a
false.
little bit.
We just act more professional in social situations. We are not grown up in the slightest. If you crack a 69 joke, we're dead on the floor.
I was gonna say, done.
Nice.
For those tuning in on Spotify, find us on YouTube. Look at the 58.
Just find 58-minute mark,
and a half minute mark, and watch Joe's screen.
Yeah, and you'll find it. You'll find it. Last one from Faith. Does she drop Drake or
Brandon
Ayuk? No. Do I drop Drake or Ayuk?
Yeah.
In a
it's
redraft
for the Noah Fant trade. Drop Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk. Yep. 100%. Okay, that is all we have. Here we go. We're going to fly through the upside downsides.
Let's do it.
Because then we got a jersey to give away, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here it is. Javonte Williams signed University of North Carolina jersey. White, too. That's hot. The white. That's nice.
Styling.
Okay. Here we go. Josh, you put up a goose egg in the upside column last week. You're 13-13-2 on the season. You got Kirky Bird at home against Dallas on Sunday Night Football, Jamal Williams against the Eagles, E-Man Sanders against the Dolphins, and Hunter Henry in Los Angeles against the Chargers. Ryan, you were 500 last week, 12-16 on the season. Carson Wentz against Tennessee, Michael Carter against Cincinnati, Chase Claypool in Cleveland, Tyler Higbee in Houston. I was 4-0 last week. I tell you every week, listen to me in the upsides, not the downsides. 17-11 on the season. I got Mac Jones this week, Zach Moss against Miami, Michael Pittman against Tennessee, and Tyler Conklin against the Dallas Cowboys. Downsides, Josh 1-3 last week, 16-12 on the season. You got Tua T in Buffalo, Nick Chubb against Pittsburgh, noting Pittsburgh is not allowed an RB1 week at all. In the highest finish was RB17 to Alex Collins. Brandon Cooks against the Rams and Jared Cook against the New England Patriots. Ryan 1-2-1 last week, 13-14-1 on the season. You got A-Rod tomorrow night against the Cardinals, Alex Collins against Jacksonville, T. Higgins in New York against the Jets, and either Logan Thomas or Ricky Seals-Jones against the Denver Broncos, basically whoever's the tight end won. Shockingly, I was the best on the downsides last week, 2-2, 9-18-1. I am swinging for the fences 2 years in a row.
Yes, you are.
Justin Herbert.
This one I think is going to bite you because I looked at it and I was like,
listen,
he's not doing it. It's not going to happen to you 2 times in a row.
Listen, I was going to finish this off. Justin Herbert against the New England Patriots. Will it happen 2 years in a row? No. Am I going to be unbelievably ecstatic if it does 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
I think you mean unbelievably obnoxious if it happens 2 years
unbelievably
in a row.
ecstatic? Yes. I do think Herbert has a top 15 week against the Patriots, but on the off chance he doesn't. Javonte Williams at home against the Washington football team. Mike Williams against New England. I like Keenan Allen, don't like Mike Williams because I've told you in the past J.C. Jackson plays better against bigger body receivers that aren't the best route runners in the world. Keenan Allen would smoke him. Dalton Schultz, in Minnesota. Yes, he's been getting a lot of targets, but Harrison Smith and Eric Kendricks are fairly good football players. So, stream of the week, Ryan has Daniel Jones in Kansas City, Tyler Conklin in Dallas, the Seahawks at home against Jacksonville. Damn, should I drop the Seahawks because I'm trying to lose in the Dynasty League? Because they're my defense right now. And my kicker of the week is not Justin Tucker or Daniel Carlson because they're on a bye.
There you go.
Nailed it. Josh's Thrive pick is non-existent.
I'm literally pulling it up right now. Hang on.
Because he's upset about his loss last week. But Ryan, Chase Edmonds over 35 rushing yards at even money, 100 points. And I have A.J. Green over 40.5 receiving yards at 95 points. This is for if you play Thrive's props tomorrow night for the Thursday game.
I'll swing for the fences. Robert Tonyan over 40.5.
Ooh,
125, right?
Points.
I was looking at that and thinking about that as well. So Robert Tonyan
I've been beating the Robert Tonyan drum all
go.
show, so I got to stick with it.
Robert Tonyan over 40.5 receiving yards for 125. That's a big swing for the fences. If you haven't signed up with Thrive yet, you can use the code CLUB. They'll match your first deposit up to $100, and it matches instantly as well. All you have to do is minimum deposit $15 in there, and they'll match it instantly. So if you want to play in the $20 buy-in for tomorrow night, deposit $15, they'll match it immediately, and you already have funds in there that you can play for.
Yep.
And these are our picks. Josh 5-2 in the season. Ryan and I are 3-4. We all had a terrible week last week. That Thursday game was...
Yeah.
I don't think anybody won money on that Thursday game last week. That was awful.
Did not go as scripted.
Yeah, did not go as scripted. Last question before we get to the jersey giveaway from Brad. Do we like Amari Rodgers or Robert Woods more this week? That's interesting. So Amari Rodgers, presumably filling in as the third receiver in this offense, or Robert Woods against...
Is it Amari Rodgers or is it Amari Cooper?
I'm gonna go with Amari Rodgers.
Oh, it's got to be Amari Cooper. I don't think anybody's taken that big of a swing on Amari Rodgers. That makes
Brad?
Yeah, I was going to
so
say
much more
Woods
sense.
against Houston sounds like a smash for me. So
And that's kind of what I was getting at. So
yeah,
Amari
it's
Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
Thank you,
Okay.
Brad. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
thought we were really
that's
really,
a big
like,
swing.
really
That's
calling up
too
the
bold for
9-hole
me.
hitter who's batted 160 all season and telling him to hit a grand slam. Like I thought that's what we were doing.
Hey, sometimes you need those big swings, you know?
I thought we were calling up Steven Drew to hit one dead center, and odds were very slim. I would go with Amari Cooper in this situation.
I agree. I don't think Woods is going to be very needed.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, LA might get up on Houston 21-0 in the first quarter, and their passing game might be non-existent at that point. So
Yeah, I'm going to go Cooper too. I do like Woods. Both have Woods to me has a better matchup, but I
Way
think the
better
game
matchup.
script, it'll sway more towards Amari Cooper in this one.
way better matchup. If Pat Pete's healthy as well, I'm not sure if he's healthy. He's played well this season. So, yep. And the legend, Steven Drew. G gets the reference. Steven Drew batted 120 for the Red Sox or something. Oh, what a terrible, terrible player. All right, Josh. Who's winning
all
our
yours.
jersey?
All right. So, first thing I want to point out, I have, 96 names out of the 256 that currently subscribe to YouTube.
56? Wow, we crushed.
Yeah, so we picked up 5 more before the show even started today, which
Love
is fantastic.
it.
And not a single one of their profiles is public,
Oh
which
my God.
hurts me because I cannot enter you to win this because you don't show me that you subscribed, and that hurts. But that's okay. If you're not on the list right now, I'm sorry, but hey, show us some sort of screenshot. Send it to myself, Joe, Ryan, even Faith on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you guys follow us. Send it to the Club Fantasy FFL handles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
I want to make sure that going forward, because literally, guys,
Yeah, once you're in, you're in.
an
You just need to get
entire
in.
box full of stuff right here that I have to give
Literally
away.
labeled YouTube giveaways.
Yes, there's all kinds of stuff, and I want to give you guys this stuff for supporting us. So please show verification of some kind. So
Watch
Let's
these
just
easy
call it
jersey.
jersey.
hey, dude, you know what? I'm pulling for you. I would very much love for it to be somebody that's been in the chat, not only today, but over the last, 6-8 weeks.
So,
That
yeah,
we've
what are
been
we now?
doing
8
this,
weeks
like
in,
this.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, folks.
Here we go.
Spin the wheel. Congrats and good luck to everybody. Let's see who wins it.
Wow, there are so many small names here.
So many names. It's
Yeah.
I
freezing
know,
me.
that's
this
a
is
good thing, right?
We got. Oh, what is it?
Is that Tommy
I don't
Jarrett?
Brad!
know. I'll figure out who Brad is. I don't know if it's Brad Montgomery, but it's Brad somebody. So
I hope it's
I
Brad.
will track you down if you're not listening,
We'll
and we'll figure something out.
remove this, and see if there's another Brad on the wheel. Because that would, and you can look at it as I do my outro, but see if there's another Brad on the wheel. Because if not, that
Could
is
be Brad Montgomery.
that is
Who?
Amari Rodgers, Brad Montgomery's jersey.
Assuming you subscribe, Brad. If you haven't, don't do it now. That's
Yeah,
just
don't
the
do it
way-
now. Well, yeah, don't do it now. Well, he wouldn't have even been in the wheel, but my guess is maybe. Okay,
I was gonna say I don't see another Brad.
elixirs with the quick math. 1.07% easy.
Perfect.
With the quick math. Gee, chiming in quick maths.
So real quick, if I cannot track you down within a week, I will spin the wheel again.
Spin again next week.
Because again, I'm gonna make sure that somebody's winning this jersey. So
Yes.
as much as I would very much love to keep it, and I know my roommate's a big college guy too, and he loves it.
And I have plenty of jerseys back here that need more people to surround them. I have 4 more as well that you guys can't see in front of me.
I just
so-
have a championship belt.
I have a championship belt, man. I was so angry because in the Sunday night game, I was beating Stoner by 2 points. He had DeForest Buckner on the last drive, and DeForest Buckner got his only sack of the game and it put him ahead. I was pissed.
What's it called when you win all of your games and haven't lost any yet? Undefeated. That's what I am.
You're
in 4-eyed
undefeated in
championship.
4-eyed?
Yeah, 7-0.
That's a
what I
joke.
does.
That's a joke. Okay, Jorge's 5-2, and he has like the 7th most points for. Stupid. Stupid.
Nate Markham's in my division, and he is doing he's third and has just a great team. So
Gene elixirs are forming and
I see this. That's called evidence, boys. We don't want to put that in the live
forming
chat.
a revolution to take down Brad, to take him out. So, Brad, beware. Tomorrow night, special time, 7 p.m. Eastern, week 8 of DFS and Chill. Ryan and Kira are back. This week's guest is John Hesterman, DFS writer with Fantasy Pros and Dynasty writer with DILF. I really wish it was DILF. That would just make it so much better. It's DLF, but DILF is funnier. Also starts a different day on Saturday. I will not be there this week. I am out in Los Angeles to see the Chargers play the Patriots, or the Patriots play the Chargers, actually. This week's guest, though, Chris Allen from 4for4 Football and NBC Sports Edge and Football Guys.
Also my division mate in Scott.
Yes, and Scotty Fish.
Also Josh's division mate. That's all I got. Anything I missed?
No.
What a good show.
It was fun.
What an
Thank you
electric
guys for
show.
joining us.
Yes, great crowd interaction. We always love answering you guys' questions. Honestly, we love that we don't
why
have
we
to
do
get,
this.
Yes, why we love that we don't have to get to our show sheet.
Yep.
Because it used to be us literally talking off our show sheet last season, and now it's not talking off our show sheet at all, which is great. We love to see that. All right. You can
We got 2 short videos dropping tomorrow. We're gonna do "Oh Captain, My Captain," myself and Doug, previewing the Thursday game. Ryan's stream of the week will be dropping as well.
Yep.
And look out for his Thrive videos on Saturday. A lot of good content coming your way.
Yeah.
I say did well again last week. 3 out of 5 on the top 5. But if you're not doing Thrive's prop lobby, check it out, because when you get weird little things like it's raining cats and dogs in San Francisco, you can bet on unders on the quarterbacks.
Yeah. And maybe an OnlyFans coming soon, because
there you
we're
go.
all immature here at this point. It's only rock, paper, scissors battles.
Well, that took Ryan off screen.
I knew that one would get Ryan.
I found this clip 2 years ago. I know we're way over time, but I found this
cares?
clip 2 years ago where Case Keenum was still playing for the Broncos. And he's literally at the line of scrimmage, and his audible was this. And I said, Case Keenum, no.
Oh, wait,
Like,
you've never seen the Chris Bosh champagne celebration? You've never seen That's the Chris Bosh champagne
I put
celebration.
it out on Twitter. I think it's the most interaction I've ever gotten on Twitter before.
Yeah,
I was like, no.
The Chris Bosh champagne celebration. I'm pretty sure he did that after the Heat won. What was it? The 2012,
Call that
2013?
the Devil's Triangle, Joe. Look it up.
No, that's not the Devil's Triangle. Ryan, that's the Chris Bosh champagne celebration. For those of you not religious, you can understand the Devil's Triangle once you read a Bible. Oh, wow. And my seat just got upgraded for my flight. Oh, what an electric day. All right. Do I even want an outro? Do I even want an outro at this point?
Shut her down.
Do I even want an outro? Again, I'm 23. These guys are almost 40. So just get that out of the way. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is onlyfans.com/clubfantasyffl. No, clubfantasyffl.com is the URL. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. We will all see you next week, same time, same place, tomorrow night with Ryan and Kiera, Josh and Ryan on Saturday with Faith. You'll see me on Sunday if you're on Instagram. If you have any last-minute questions, live from SoFi Stadium. I can show you guys what it looks like from probably the roof where I'm sitting. But going to be a lot of fun. We will see you guys next week.